Hello, everybody. Welcome to the third day of our workshop. And this will be the day for mainly focusing on industrial ontology foundry. And I will welcome Professor Dimitris Kiritsis, who is a member of OntoCommons and also a founding member of IOF. And then he will start this session for today.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Good, thank you, Marco. I will use this. Yeah. So we're waiting for our first keynote speaker, Seb, who is on his way. So good morning, everyone. Thank you. Good morning. As Marco said, I'm Dimitris Kiritsis. I am still a while professor at PFL in Lausanne, in Switzerland. I have a group there, ICT for Sustainable Manufacturing. Maybe you have already met my last two postdocs, so Jinji Lu and Xiaoshen Zheng. We work together and we applying IOF and OntoCommons results so far in our applications on digital twins. We call them cognitive digital twins. So IOF, in the Industrial Ontologies Foundry, is a community and organization that, as Marco said, so I had the honor and the pleasure to be among the founders or the two co-founders 6 years ago. I must say that the first idea of this community came from Hedy, who is the organizer of this event here. During his visit at Buffalo, Barry Smith, and I think Hedy was inspired by the OBO Foundry, where Barry Smith is a key player. And with the maturity and the evolution, so he had the idea of not repeating this positive exercise to the industrial environment. So they didn't decide about the name at that time, but it was the basic idea, create a foundry to create industrial ontologies. And then after that time, so it was, I think, summer 2016, something like that. So I had the chance to meet Barry in Annecy when he was there for one of the ontologies communities workshops, Voice, something like that, I think, Voice, in Annecy. So I went there with a car. It was a very hot day. Annecy is in the corner near Geneva. And Lausanne and Geneva are in the lake of Lake Léman. We call it in Lausanne, we call it Lake Léman. People in Geneva, they call it Lake Geneva. But you don't believe them, so it's Lake Léman. So I took him there and we, with a car, and we drove all around the lake. It was hot and the air conditioning in the car was not working, so I remember very well that day. And so we discussed in the car with Barry, so we visited all these nice places around these lakes. If you have not been there, go. So in the French part is Simoir, is Evian, is Thonon. So in the Swiss part is Lausanne, Montreux, Beauvais, Geneva. And good morning, sir.
Morning.
And then we discussed. So we didn't know each other. So I met him. I knew him through the publications of my PhD students. Also, PhD students told me about the BFO, etc. And of course, I was informed about that.
Arrived.
And then you arrived. And then I remember that Barry, in this trip, so I told this story to understand how IOF was created. So asked me a lot of questions. So because I'm still not an ontologist, so I was much less at that time. So ontology engineering ontologies is something that I discovered in 2008 at the end of a project called PROMIS, IMS, European project, IMS, when I developed the concept of closed loop lifecycle management using embedded devices like sensors and RFIDs. And I think this was the precursor of what we call today Internet Industry 4.0. So, and then I realized that there will be a lot of data, 2008, a lot of data will be created by industry. We have somehow to manage them. And then with one of the PhD students from Politecnico di Milano, so Jacopo Gassina, so we created what we call semantic object model. which was a kind of nodology, but not exactly nodology, using UML and UML and other things. And then I decided to invest in this field, and all PhDs done by my PhD student from 2008, 10, and then was around this topic. So 2016, we discussed with Barry as a nodologist, philosopher, nodologist, philosopher transformed to a nodologist, and myself as a kind of subject matter expert in this field. And we discovered that we have a lot to share. And at the end of this day, or in the middle of this day, in my office, we draw the first sketch of a nodology for product life cycle. So the PLC nodology, which is available somewhere. And then we thought that, so industry is not mature, so they are discovering these things. We knew that here and there are people working in nodology. We knew that at NIST, there are people working in nodology, or Alpha Shuri at that time, and some Italian students and others, and from France, Aziz Abdelkader was there and working on this field with the assembly nodology and the product nodology, etc. And we thought we should approach NIST to start working with them. And then later on this year, 2006, in a conference, APMS conference at Iguazu Falls, at Iguazu in Brazil, I met Serm and Parad. It was a nice place. And then I talked to Serm, so NIST, we have this idea, why not? And Serm said, yes, why not? I need to talk to my boss. And I knew his boss, Vijay Srinivasan, Srini. And I called Srini, I explained him the idea. I don't know if Serm briefed him before or after, but Srini got the message and he said, good, we do it. And we organized the first workshop in December 2016. And then we had let's say, the chance to have as keynote speakers the president of research of Dassault Systems at that time. So a very enthusiastic guy. And he gave a very, let's say, inspiring talk at that time. And then we had representatives of Airbus. So Fernando Mas is around here. So together with Jean-Bernard Hens, they went in the US at that time, working on nodologies for their applications. And they also expressed their interest. And from that time, we have always Airbus and the Dassault Systems present in IOF, first with Will, and now with Jim Logan, who will be talking later on. So since then, we created working groups. So Sam will talk about the status. And in this afternoon, we have these 3 parallel sessions when 2 working groups in each session are together, so according to the topics, and you will learn about the current status and all that stuff. So the first product of IOF is already out. So this IOF core ontology produced mainly contributions for all of us, but of course with this Will and Sam's team, and I think Milos is the last member of this team working on this topic. And so IOF and AutoCommons are working well in parallel. If you see the architectures of both IOF and AutoCommons are quite, let's say, the same, except the top level, whereas IOF, after a voting and after a strong debate and fightings in IOF, in the first physical meeting in Oslo, hosted by Arild, who is not here today, but it was there. So there was a debate or a fight, and then we voted with a very complicated voting sheet prepared by CERN, so to satisfy everybody's needs and requests. And then we voted to have BFO as top-level ontology. So I have adopted BFO as top-level ontology, and all what we do is working with BFO in IOF core. So in my team, we are using this architecture in our recent projects, and what you saw maybe yesterday with Airbus, the video of Airbus, is, and then you will learn also later today, is using this architecture. So also in AutoCommons, 2 of the advisory board members, so Barry Smith and Serm, are there, and they are helping us very much, and they are always participating in our meetings, AutoCommons meetings, and I would like to thank Serm and Barry for this, very much from the AutoCommons perspective. So that's the story. So it was a long journey for IOF so far. I think this journey will go faster. So we have, why? Because we have 2 standardization organizations involved in actively in IOH, so OAGI. So our managing director is the president of AGI, Jim Wilson, who is here. And we have OMG, Elisa. You heard Elisa yesterday, who represents also FIBO, we call it FIBO or FIBO? FIBO, and also EDM Council. So all of these organizations are active members of IOF. Also, Will Sobel with MD Connect is also with us, and we will hear him as well. So we have industrial interest, and this industrial interest will express more widely and strongly, I expect, because the IOF now is open to membership, to industry members. And from the point that Elisa explained, we have industrial members. They will push all of us to deliver better and faster. And I strongly believe that this will happen because it is needed. So now I talk to industrial boards, etc., and they all recognize the need for knowledge graphs based on good methodologies. And this will happen. Sooner or later it will happen. I'm convinced about that. So I would like to invite you to be always active in this journey on creating methodologies for manufacturing. And with that, I would like to invite Sir, who gives his note. Thank you.